Last week, the 22-year-old Odai al-Rubai was tortured and killed by Hamas militants for daring to speak out. His crime, criticizing Hamas in public, chanting no to Hamas at a protest and posting defiant messages online. His fate was to be abducted, beaten, dragged through the streets and dumped dead at his family's doorstep. And the people of Gaza are paying in blood for their disobedience to the tyranny that rules them and that has brought them into such distress. But the implications of this event extend far beyond one young man's death. In recent weeks, there have been large anti-Hamas protests in Gaza since the militant group took power in 2007, the largest that have been seen, chanting slogans of desperation. We want to live. Gazan civilians, some with their faces covered, have risked execution to voice their fury, and their anger is directed not at Israel's bombardment but at Hamas's authoritarian rule. Odai's murder is not isolated. Reports indicate that at least 6 others have been executed by Hamas in the past week alone for protesting or disrespecting the Al-Qassam brigades. And clans like the Al-Samras have also taken matters into their own hands, capturing, confronting, even executing suspects in tribal justice rituals. From an Israeli standpoint, this is a turning point. As former IDF intelligence officers have observed, these protests signal a fracturing of the fear barrier that has insulated Hamas for years. Israeli officials, like the Defense Minister Israel Katz, have actively encouraged this rebellion, stating that Gazans must rise up or face further territorial losses. But while Israel sees strategic value, the benefits remain ambiguous. Yes, the protests weaken Hamas's credibility. Yes, internal pressure could accelerate negotiations around hostages, but the demonstrations are still small, disorganized, and subject to brutal repression. Hamas remains entrenched, armed, and fanatically committed to survival. And here lies the paradox. Israel's military pressure is simultaneously liberating and suffocating. The blockade on humanitarian aid, no fuel, no flour, no electricity, has created unimaginable suffering. More than 50,000 Gazans have died since October 2023 in a collective punishment of the people of Gaza, of the Palestinian population. Entire cities have been reduced to rubble by the IDF. And while Israel's officials argue that suffering will turn Gazans against Hamas, starvation is not a surgical tool. It doesn't discriminate between militant and civilian, and the international community increasingly sees the blockade not as containment, but as collective punishment, a strategy that risks alienating even Hamas's critics within Gaza. The tragedy of Odai al-Rubai's death lies not only in its brutality, but in what it reveals. Gaza is not a monolith. There are voices of resistance within Gaza, but not just against Israel, against Hamas too. And these voices, students, influencers, tribes, may not be the final answer, but they are a credible path towards long-term demilitarization and reconstruction. Should Israel work together with, in harmony with these people, to help them rather than to bombard them and to kill them. Their survival depends on more than courage. It requires a change in strategy from Israel, less siege, more support for civil institutions. It requires Palestinian political renewal, not just the removal of Hamas, but a meaningful alternative. And it demands that the international community protest, not just mourn the dead. Odai al-Rubai is dead, but his voice lives on with these 3 words: we want to live. It's a slogan of defiance, not just against Hamas, but against despair. If the world and Israel are serious about a post-Hamas Gaza, then this moment must be seized not just as a military opportunity, but as a moral opportunity. The boy who died calling for life must not be forgotten.